Hey, how's it going? So there's a question that needs to be asked. I think a lot of marketers are trying to ask this, especially when you're running LinkedIn ads, and that is, well, if you're running like let's say an ABM campaign, or you're running like let's say different layers of campaigns, how do you know that those campaigns and especially the non-converting campaigns actually actually influence the company. They actually influence the deal, or they're part of it. How can you see exactly at a high level or in detail exactly what's going on with your campaign and how that kind of links together? So what this app does is that, let's say on the company level, so let's say you can see this is a fake contact. It doesn't need any contact, it's going conversions. I add in every single campaign that this company is exposed to. So you have the name of the LinkedIn campaign, the type, the amount spent, impressions, any visits that they came that's not trackable by HubSpot, but it's trackable by LinkedIn, ad engagement to clicks on any non LinkedIn page, not any landing page based visits, and then videos. So you can see the total, and these statistics are only relevant for Uber. You can also break these down over time. You can further come up with this iframe, and you can see, and essentially what you can do is you can take a look and see, well, these campaigns, they didn't, let's say that it may not have converted, these ones particularly didn't convert, but there was a deal. And so I can look at which of these campaigns had any sort of impressions or anything specific, and I can then go and say, well, this is the journey that my prospect, the prospect company has taken with me, and I can see which campaigns. And so I know that, okay, I can then know exactly like, okay, it's just because let's say this campaign doesn't convert, but I can see that it's been influencing some of everything together. But that's not all. So it's not enough to just see what that looks like on the campaign level. It's also important to understand the timeline that it happens. And what this report does is it actually brings everything together into a timeline report. So there's spend, impressions, ad engagements, contact visits, which is what HubSpot tracks, LinkedIn visits, which is what MediaSync brings in from LinkedIn, form conversions, new leads, marketing email clicks, sales emails that are logged, meetings, opportunities, and wins. And you can kind of see in this example, and then there's a table, you can kind of see the journey, how everything kind of fits together, how let's say LinkedIn, like for example, they spent, and then let's say 3 months later, it had an opportunity that ended up winning. So you can see kind of the journey, reverse the journey, the different touch points that this client had with HubSpot. I'm running through this pretty quickly, but it's not just that you can see. So if it was just that, then you'd have to deep dive into sort of everything. What this does, and there's a very nice GUI that in the settings that allows you to see all of this. But it also every day you can choose which one of these stats, but it also there's up to 36 properties that it can add. So you can go engagements, impressions, spend, and website visits. And what it'll do is you can get last month versus this month, last quarter versus this quarter, last year versus this year totals, or you can do each quarter this year, and it'll update this every single day. And that allows you to sort of create like advanced reports. So for example, and because they're properties in LinkedIn, then you can create different types of reports. You can see, let's say, the total spend that you spend on the company, calculate the ROI based on the sum or the weighted sum. You can do it by region, by industry. And then you also have some custom reports. So for example, this one, which is not working on the demo, it essentially takes all the meetings, all the deals, and all the wins, and it tells you how long it usually takes, how much you usually spend, how many impressions and website visits you usually get before you get a meeting, before you get a deal, before an actual win. And you can do this there's also target accounts, you can do this non-target accounts, you can look at all the different companies. What else you could do with this is that because they're properties, that's again in the settings, there's a nice little GUI that creates it for you, is that it actually, you can create lists. Here's an example of just as the types of lists are being created. But essentially what these lists do is, and these lists that are based around those properties. So besides the fact that you can use it for, let's say, lead scoring and things like that, you can put lead scoring or something like that. You can say like, okay, if they had more than, let's say, $450 and there's no deals or whatever it is, give me a list of those companies. And these companies can then be set back using HubSpot's own ads audiences and then using suppression lists or re-engagement campaigns, whatever it is. Or if you see, let's say, certain companies are engaging more, so then you can put them in a high priority campaign. So you can personalize a lot more and then send that to send that back to actual LinkedIn to help dynamically update LinkedIn and get more out of LinkedIn. And then, I mean, at the very least, you get an understanding, you get a proper understanding of what companies are spending, how much you're actually spending on them, and what you're getting out of it. And that is MediaSync in a nutshell. Thank you very much.